Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. My name is Haley if you're new here. I usually have my cousin Lauren along with me. We do the channel together. Today it's just me though, and I'm going to be showing you guys a recent toy declutter that I did for my two boys. They're ages 2 and 5, and I went through and got rid of a ton of their toys. I have watched a lot of videos, like I'm sure you probably have too because you're here, over having less toys for your kids and the benefits of that, how they are said to play better, it's easier for them to clean up, you know the whole thing. But what I wanted to share with you guys was kind of the process that I went through and how I decided what to keep, what not to keep. I wasn't trying to get down to a set amount of toys, a set number of toys, anything like that. I wasn't saying no big toys, they take up too much space, nothing like that. The main thing I wanted to do was get rid of the things they don't play with. So going into this decluttering process, before I even got started, I set some ground rules. So the 3 things that I kind of went by during this process was they have to play with it. That was the first one, and obviously the most important. And I mean actually play with it. Like they sit down, they have fun with it, they use their imagination with it, it holds their attention. Not just they found it laying on the floor one day, they picked it up for a few minutes and then threw it back on the floor. So that was number 1. They had to play with the item. Number 2 was tiny pieces. If it was a tiny piece that was part of a set or something like that, for example, my son has a magnetic Melissa and Doug ice cream truck. He loves putting the big pieces together. The tiny pieces that it came with that stick to it, they're just all over the place. They never play with it. I get so tired of picking up tiny pieces, and they do too. That's why they just get thrown on the carpet and they never get picked up because they don't want to pick them up either. Number 3, I wasn't holding on to something just out of guilt because it was a gift. And that even applied to the gifts that I bought them. Some of the things that I got rid of were things that I just purchased at Christmas time. It's only April right now. So I bought them some things that they just don't play with. They don't like it. I thought they would like it. They don't. I'm not gonna keep it just because, I paid money for it a few months ago. If it's not being played with, it's not being played with. So those were kind of the 3 rules that I set up going into getting rid of the toys, and I think that it worked out pretty well. I was able to make decisions pretty quickly. I wasn't having to sit there and second guess, should I keep this, should I not? If it wasn't being played with, it was gone. If it was tiny pieces, it was gone. If it was a gift, I didn't say I'm keeping this just because it's a gift. It had to also be being played with, and if it wasn't being played with, it had to go. Because they are so close in age and they're the same gender, they tend to play with a lot of the same things. They tend to play together a lot. So I wanted to take everything out of both of their bedrooms, pile it up in the living room so I could see it all at once. I did have cars in my 2-year-old's room, then my 5-year-old had some cars. Same thing with action figures, things like that. I was keeping them separate, this is yours, this is yours. But I wanted to put it all together because whenever they start playing, it doesn't matter whose it is. So I took everything out, I put it all in the living room, and then I started to group it by category. I had a category for play food and dishes, one for animal figurines, one for action figures, one for vehicles, and then one category for anything that didn't fit those basically. I guess why I chose those categories were because those were the things that I know that they do play with. They play with their action figures, they play with the animals, they play with the cars. And then I just went through the cars. We had 2 huge buckets full of play cars, which was just way too excessive. So I went through, I picked out the ones that they play with most frequently. I kept those. Animal figurines and action figures, I actually ended up keeping most of those because like I said, they play with most of them most of the time. Same thing with the fake food that. I didn't really feel a need to get rid of that because that's what they play with. Now the sorted items category, that's where most of the stuff came from. This is just random toys they pick up from different places, teeny tiny little pieces that belong to whatever toys. There was one thing that I definitely knew that I did not need to go through or get rid of, and that was the Legos. So the Legos I didn't even touch. I just picked them up off the floor, put them back where they belong, because that is honestly what my boys play with probably close to 90% of the time. And they'll sit in there at that little Lego table for an hour sometimes just playing and building different things, cars, all sorts of stuff. So needless to say, the Legos, that's where it's at. I just wanted to show y'all what I ended up leaving in each one of the boys' rooms. I'll show you my 2-year-old's room first. So far they've been playing okay. They haven't complained about any of the toys that I've gotten rid of. My 5-year-old's actually been doing a little bit better. He hasn't complained as much or whined as much about having to pick his toys up. And I really think it's because there's just not as many of them dumped out, so he doesn't feel as overwhelmed when I say, okay, go clean your room up. All right, so I'll show you my 2-year-old's room first. This is what we ended up leaving. All right, so I did keep this little food truck. I know some people are against like big toys and things like that, but he does play with his food truck. And you know, the criteria that I went by was I would get rid of something if they didn't play with it, but like I said, he plays with it pretty regularly. Actually, they both do. So he's got his food truck, he's got this little ride-on pony over here that he likes to ride to the food truck. And then this is the remainder of the toys that we kept. I have his choo-choo train track over here. I left it set up because he does like to play with it. And then this is toy food and dishes. This is the toy trucks that I kept. And then this one is just like a random assortment of a few things. He's got like some of his little people toys in here, a set of walkie-talkies. It's really not many items, and that's it. And then the bins at the top are empty now because I changed out. Their clothes were in that, but I ended up changing out their clothing setup too, which I'll show you guys later how I did that. So anyways, those are empty. And then we also have books, which I haven't went through, but we'll probably keep all the books. Then he has this little people fire truck, this little people tractor, and then he has his big 18-wheeler there with a trailer. He likes the big trucks that like he can pull stuff behind, so he plays with those pretty regularly. And yeah, that's it. That's all the toys that are in his room. So I'll go show you now what we left in my 5-year-old's room. Legos on the floor as usual, but we kept his Lego table, of course, and then we have like the big Legos up here because my 2-year-old likes to play with them. And then down here is the small Legos. My 2-year-old likes to sit on things and he sat on it and broke the drawer. So anyways, that one doesn't go in there. And then on his, I'll show you what's on his shelf now. Those bins in the middle there, they that's what his clothes were in, but like I said, I switched out their clothing set up, so those are empty now. Then he's got books and he's got his notebooks and like coloring stuff. And in his room I left the superhero action figure guys. They like to play with those. He's got some Magna-Tiles here that they play with, and then these are like animal figurines and things like that. And for big toys, all he has is this Batman Batcave thing. And then in his toy bucket, he's got like, oh, this is camping stuff. I slid underneath their bed a pop-up tent that they like to play in, but I just went ahead and folded it up, slid it under the bed, and then when they get ready to play in it, that's something easy to take out. That's all the toys they have left now. We do have like puzzles and games and things like that put up in another cabinet in the kitchen. I'm not leaving that in their bedroom anymore because I feel like it just ends up getting dumped out everywhere, usually by my 2-year-old, and you know, makes a bigger mess and makes it harder to clean up. But they've been playing okay. They haven't whined about any of the toys that we've gotten rid of. Like I said, they've helped a little bit more with picking up. So far, no regrets. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all again next week, probably with Lauren in the next video.